So I have this piece of paper that's 8 by 12. So that will cut into 4 sections that are postcard size, 4 by 6. The point here is I'm going to paint it or make an image all over it such that when I cut up the postcards they don't look necessarily like they've all come from the same place. So I'm trying to get variety in the overall composition and resist the urge to make an overall pattern. So it's just a way to play, see how much different stuff I can get. So I'm just starting by painting. And part of the fun of this is that you're not doing a composition. It doesn't have to work as an all-over composition because you're going to cut it all up. At the same time, you're challenging yourself to create as much variety as possible and make individual compositions that will be sort of interesting. So I do want some of the areas to overlap. So this purple donut, we're cutting about here. Some of it will be in this quarter, some of it will be in this quarter. I love this technique. I put the green down and didn't let it dry all the way, then put the quinacridone gold over it, and when I pull it up, it pulls up most of the quin gold. Whereas here, the paint was dry underneath, so it doesn't pull up quite as much of the paint. Of course, now, with that green paint wet, color, let's take this yellow I've used here before, and a little quin gold. Maybe I'll even just do a little scribbling in there. Lift that. See if I can press any of it down here. A little bit. And then you start to get these interesting looks for collage papers. So now the paint is dry. Looks like I got a water droplet right there and wiped it off, whatever. So the next thing I'm going to do is paint over some of it. This is just an ordinary 2-inch rubber brayer with which you can apply paint like that. But then you can take the excess off the brayer and then lift the paint. I have a little tutorial on that on my tutorials page. Okay, now while the paint is still just tacky, I'm going to spritz it with a water bottle, wash the brayer immediately, and once that paint is dry but the water droplets are still wet, you can blot them up. Many of you will have seen this technique in other videos or on my DVD. So one of my favorite things to do with collage is to use sort of patterned, usually my own hand-painted papers, to just enhance areas of color. So I'm using matte medium here. Any of the materials, well, all of the materials I'm using here, you can find on my links page on my website. gold. This is stained tissue paper that is then printed with a gel plate with a string motif. Another one of my favorite things to do in collage is use these pieces of tissue paper that are just stamped. This piece is stamped with, this is just an ordinary washer with tape added to the back. Looks great as a stamp. But the tissue paper makes the image sort of see-through. And put it right there. And this is Blick art tissue. Again, you can find the link on my links page. See how the tissue paper practically disappears. Now, if you put it over dark colors, it doesn't disappear quite so much. But light to medium colors, it works pretty well. Here's another piece of stamped tissue paper. I use this sort of fun little decorative stamp. And we'll let that dry. So now that this is dry, I'm going to try another technique. I'm going to stamp. This is just a stamp I made using mat board and some plastic washers. One thing I like to do to create sort of more subtle texture is kind of a tone-on-tone stamping. So I'm stamping this green color over the green color. And maybe I'll just take that a little further and get it over the reds for a high contrast and then low contrast. What I like to do is stamp with texture. So this is just some corrugated card. I'm going to dip it in some gold paint and create a little texture down here, sort of picking up the gold that's in that collage paper. Then, of course, there's the big rubber stamp. Let's see, where's this one going? This is black acrylic paint on a hand-carved rubber stamp. I am going to put that in two places. Alright, now I'm going to add some line to this piece. We've got paint, we've got stamping, we've got some collage. I have this white gel pen. It just makes some great marks. It stays really opaque. And I love the way the white line looks against the black line. And that might just be it for now.